Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another video in my series of reforming the pagan phase of Crusader Kings 2 on the lead up to the release for Holy Fury. In today's episode, we travel up to the frozen northlands of the Ruskis and the Estonians, and we take a look at the Suomenusko faith. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't actually know, so in order to keep it simple, I'm just simply going to call it the Reindeer Faith after the icon for the religion itself as it appears in-game. So the Reindeer Faith is actually fairly easy to reform. Taking a look at the entire religious view here, this is the total adherence to the faith. Their holy sites are all very close to each other, and they are all held by Suomenuskos at the beginning of the game, except for one in Novgorod. That one is held by the Slavics in Ilam. However, that is going to be very easy to wrest control of. A holy site down here, controlled by another Suomenusko, and the ones up here as well. We are going to start in the heartland of the Suomenuskos, the reindeer peoples, over here in Livonia. This is where we are going to start. We are sitting on top of one of the holy sites. One of our vassals is in control of it, and we have the other two in quick reach. That will allow us to grab 3 holy sites very quickly, very early on, giving us the ability to reform, and as long as the RNG gods are on our side, these holy sites towards the east will not be wrestled away by the other illegitimate faiths. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. As always, I have a very specific rule set. Devil Worshippers off, Secret Cultists off, Shattered Retreat off, Defensive Packs off, and Charlemagne story events off, as well as Iron Man mode. If you are not playing on Iron Man mode, you are not a true CK2 player, and therefore you must always click that button on. And you can see my test trial here. I actually was able to reform the faith by 775, so that's what, a mere 6 years after the start of the game. It's very simple to reform this faith. So we are going to go for the Reindeer Reformation. And let us begin. Alright. Now let us take a look at our starting position here. We started out as a flamboyant schemer. It's not going to be that bad. In the end, the only stats that we really care about is going to be our martial and our stewardship. Martial, obviously, to rally together as many troops as possible, and stewardship to hold as many holdings as possible. One of the things that you can opt to do right at the start here is to wrest control of these 2 counties from your 2 vassals directly at the beginning of the game. You could even try to imprison them and execute them, incurring a tyrant penalty with all of your current holding lords. However, being that they're the only 2, it won't be that bad. Everyone will forget about it. Another thing that you can think of doing is boosting your stats by getting a decent wife. There are some decent wives out in the game on your side of the world at the beginning. You just gotta search for them. This girl right here, Vanamos, she seems to spawn in most of the games. She starts out with some very high stats, and I would definitely recommend marrying her and then taking the gold from her, from the marriage option, because gold will be important. As always with playing the pagan faiths, you must always become king of X area. Always strive to be the king of your current area, because declaring those subjugate wars on the miners in your area will net you a nice amount of prestige, 100, and a nice amount of piety, 100. And as a defensive pagan, which the Suomenusko faith is considered, they're defensive pagans, it gives us the ability to raise devout warriors in the event that we are attacked by a hostile religion. So very important to do. Essentially, reforming the Suomenusko faith is as simple as declaring one war after another to reclaim as much of Finland as possible, seeing that Finland is in control of 2 of the holy sites, here and here, both within our Daejir kingdom, giving us easy subjugate casus belli on them. We want to be sure to take this province right here, Satakunta, very quickly, or else the Swedes here, Sigurd Ring, who we reformed the Germanic faith with, may attempt to county conquest this land, lowering our moral authority, but most importantly, locking us out of Finland, which will increase the cost of our kingdom title. So as always with the tribal pagans, winning wars is as simple as rallying the troops as soon as you declare the war and putting them all in the center stack to fight. I'm going to skip most of the battle scenes, so all you need to know is that I'm going to be declaring wars on Estonia and then shortly after Ingria. War number 1 very quickly won. Now on to Ingria. One thing that you can be sure to do early on in order to solidify your reign is imprison as many of your vassals as possible in an attempt to confiscate their land. And so as we can see here, I was able to righteously imprison one of my vassals. I could choose to execute him and incur -10 tyrant penalty with all of my vassals. However, I think it would be best if we attempt to plot to kill him after throwing him in the oubliette to increase our chances of getting a free kill on him. Picking Patron Deity should always go to Marshal, and then as soon as you have the opportunity to, worship the ancestors to get some nice, decent traits. This event may pop up at some time during your playthrough. In fact, it probably will. It has a high chance of firing. It allows you to build a monument for either monthly prestige or piety. I always go for the prestige, as that will allow me to build a larger army with raised tribal army quicker. Once you begin to make headway into Finland proper, I would go for Karelia first, as Ilum here tends to county conquest them fairly early on, and once again you want as much of Dejur Finland as possible. And with Finland properly under our control, we will be able to quickly create the title, and being a reindeer adherent, the kingdom's name will actually transfer over to Suomi, or whatever that word is. I always thought that that was pretty cool. Now that that is done, you will notice that our moral authority is fairly high. We are in a fantastic position to continue on here. All that we need to do now is county conquest Novgorod, and we will be able to reform. This war is certainly the most difficult one to win in this playthrough. However, given that we were able to form the kingdom title of Finland, it granted us a fantastic amount of prestige and gives us a tick of monthly prestige to be able to raise up to 3 rounds of raised tribal army. As you can see, I already raised 1 and I have plenty more to spare, giving me fantastic abilities to raise up armies instantaneously. And with that war won, what do we see here already? Religion can be reformed. But, Rabakar, you are only a mere 6 years into the game. Is this the easiest faith to reform? I would honestly say absolutely yes. This is the easiest faith to reform in the game. You can do so within 6 years of the start date with little to no pressure whatsoever. Now we are a kingdom tier title with footprints on multiple kingdom areas. We can expand whichever direction we want, take out the fearsome Vikings, raid down into the south into the Slavic lands, or continue expanding and pushing east to unite our reindeer brethren. And with that, let us push the most glorious button in this entire game. Perfect 50 moral authority. Boom. The Reformation of the Reindeer Faith hath occurred. For Terra indeed. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment section below. As always, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can know when more of my videos are going live. After this, we only have one faith left to reform, and that will be the Remove of Faith. Honestly, seeing where the holy sites are with this one, I think it'll be even easier. But only time will tell. So thank you very much, guys, and I hope to see you next time.